Hi guys, Ann here, and today we have another table talk, sit down video style video. It is freezing outside. It's like in the 30s, okay? So I was going to sit outside or just sit in the car or something because I really don't have anywhere to go, nor do I want to go anywhere because it's Monday, Cyber Monday, December 1st. And it's like, I don't like dealing with all those crowds, with all those sales. You know what I mean? So I was like, now it's a little too cold. I just got done filming just one unboxing so far. The BoxyCharm for December. That will be up on my beauty channel. Vlogmas is starting. Now, I'm going to try to post a video every day. Okay? I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. But at least, most of the month I'll do it. Because you guys do know, or if you're new, I do suffer from health issues and mental health. And sometimes it could just make me to where I'm tired or I'm not feeling good, or when my mental health gets to me, I can't get myself to do anything. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I'm going to try. But I really look forward to doing it. And then starting tomorrow, because I want to give you guys a chance to know and prepare for the members, I'm going to go live every night. And that I probably can do because, unless something happens, of course, right? Because, I can go on with, a lot of times I just go on with my pajamas on and a hair wrap or what have you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to get dressed. So I'm trying to get comfortable. So we're going to do that. So I need to make up for, and I'll do some videos here and there too, because I know not everybody likes live streams or can even make it to the live streams. I had a great Thanksgiving. It was so good. This was the first time, I said this in another video, that I actually got help with Thanksgiving dinner. I have never, ever got help for Thanksgiving dinner. And I've been doing cooking for like 25 years for the whole family. It's always just been me. I've had help, like when my mom was alive and feeling better, she'd help like clean up and do the dishes and stuff because we don't have a dishwasher. I have like my aunt or something would bring like a dessert or something, but never like to actually help cook. You know what I mean? They brought their Tupperware, of course, to bring food home, but so it was nice. Lexi was going up in her room a lot. And I didn't ask her, but I'm sure, she was crying and upset because, like I shared before, every year since Lexi was little, me and her father broke up when Lexi was 11 months old. And so every year she's always spent Thanksgiving with her daddy, or like Thanksgiving night or something. She always was with him. I mean, she ate dinner with me and then she would go to her dad's house and spend the night. Do you know what I mean? Lexi's 25. She's so young. And I hate this for her. And she was a daddy's girl. So it was hard for her. And our family, we don't do a lot of talking. Like, you would think I would, right? Because I come on here all the time and I rant and vent and talk and all this kind of stuff. But at home, I do not do that. And Lexi's the same way. She doesn't want to talk. When I try to get her to talk, she'll say, Mommy, I don't want to talk about it. And I say, okay. But she's going to therapy. She's like me. She does the Zoom thingies, But it was nice. So a couple of Tyler's friends came over and their kids. And then Lexi's boyfriend was here. I just really enjoyed myself, And then Lexi had a couple of days off, so I spent time with her. And then I did some shopping. And so really, that's why you didn't see me at the end of the month. And I know, I didn't really film anything. And the little videotapes that I did get had her boyfriend and other people in it. And it's like, I don't really want to put that up because I didn't ask them. But because people came over, I didn't just want to pull out a phone in their face. Do you know what I mean? Because like as soon as dinner got done, because everybody was like, I'm hungry. It's like we ate. So I didn't even have time to like show you know what I mean? I don't know. I was just more in the moment. It was just such a good day. It really was. It's funny. Let me know, like, if how this gentle parenting, or maybe it's just the newer generation, I don't know. Like, so when I said like my kids had their friends over with their kids and stuff, and it's like I mean, they're young, but I mean, my God, the parenting is so different. See, I don't have grandkids yet, right? Like my oldest son is 30 and my youngest son is 21, and then Lexi's 25. And my two stepkids, they're adults as well. They don't have any kids. So I haven't really been around to raise kids. And Isaiah's 21. I mean, he literally just graduated high school a couple of years ago, right? And I'm like, oh, it's so different. It's so different. And now it's like, I don't know. I was talking to a couple of my friends and I was like, I would go back in time because I think I was too strict on my kids, right? And I would go back in time and not be as strict. I still would be strict, but not as strict, right? You got these kids are so young and they have iPhones or these tablets, iPads and all this. I'm like, what does a 3-year-old, like, what? I don't know. It was different. Like my kids, when I was raising my kids, and remember, Isaiah just graduated high school. At first, we had one computer. And then everybody shared that computer, right? So my kids, if they needed it for school, that was the computer we went to. And then when I started doing YouTube and I learned how to edit and stuff, which I didn't learn how to edit till a year and a half when I was on my beauty channel. So for the first year and a half, I didn't even edit any of my videos. Then I got a computer, right? And so then there were two in the house, one for me, for my business, and then the other one for the kids, for their schooling and stuff. And then we had a printer in the house or what have you. And so I'm not used to each kid having their own computer. Each kid have their own gaming device. No, Lexi didn't really play games, and my boys are 9 years apart, so it was a little different, right? But still, I don't know. Like I said, Isaiah's 21. When he was in high school, so he was 17 when he graduated. Every night, even as a senior in high school, his phone and everything else came out of his room. What do you need a phone and everything when you're sleeping? Because that's when kids sneak on the phone, and they talk to boys or girls or what have you, because I have my daughter, right? So we talk to boys and stuff. You don't need to do that. So I would take everything out. And they never gave me a hard time because that's what they were used to. Isaiah, when he got his Facebook, he had it under my email. And he didn't know that I could look at his stuff because it was under my email. So I was getting all the alerts and everything. Now, did I look at it every day? No. But did I still check? Absolutely. I checked. I want to see what my son is doing, who he's talking to, and what is going on. When people say, oh, well, kids need their privacy. Huh? What? Are they paying rent? Because if they ain't paying rent, this is my house. That's my bedroom. I'm just allowing you to use it, So I didn't, like I said, all the time, but sometimes when my kids were in school, just for the hell of it, I searched through their room. Yes, I did. And I don't regret doing any of that stuff because then I knew everything my kid was doing. You know what I mean? I had to have all the passwords to my kids' phones. And anytime I said, give me your phone, that's you give me your phone or I'm not paying your bill. You know what I mean? I was that type of mom. And I would do that all over again, especially now how the internet was, right? But I think what I would lighten up about is, maybe not this either. Like my kids, I had to really know the parents and stuff. Like my son played baseball in different sports. So sometimes all the boys and stuff would go over to a parent's house. They would take turns and they would all have a sleepover after the game if it was the weekend or something like that. That's a little different, right? But just to go sleep over, no. If they wanted friends to sleep over, they came to my house. I was very strict that way because I might know the mom, but I don't know the father. I don't know what that father does, and I'm not leaving my child. I don't know that man in that house. You know what I mean? You hear too many stories what happens. No, not I said the fly. So, but I didn't allow my kids to go to a lot of places. Like Isaiah, all my kids had to play a sport, and if they didn't pick a sport, then I would pick it for them. So then they knew and they started picking their own sports, right? Because I wanted them, I figured, because remember, I raised my kids in the projects and low income and different things. And so I wanted my kids to be have a schedule and to be so busy they didn't have time to get in trouble. Do you know what I mean? because I used to get in trouble, but again, I would change up a little bit because my kids are not me. And I think I was so scared of my kids turning out like me and getting in trouble and going to jail and getting sentenced to prison and all this type of stuff that I was too overly like, do you know what I mean? And I don't know. Like, I was one of those parents. I see kids now eating cookies and stuff as they're walking, like in the living room or what. I'm not used to that. My kids ate at the table, even if they were having their snacks, if they were in their high chair. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I would have them in the living room on their high chair eating a snack, watching TV or something, especially if I'm trying to get stuff done, but not walking around. No, my OCD with the crumbs and stuff. I wouldn't, this is where I was too. I wouldn't allow, like, my kids had some toys out in the living room. And if they wanted to play with different toys, then you bring those toys back in your room and then bring the other toys out. See, that type of stuff I wish I would have lessened up on. Not everything had to be so perfect, right? I never allowed my kids to quit a sport. Because when you allow that, no, you finish the whole season. Now, you don't have to do another season if you don't like it. But you have to finish it out. 2 reasons. 1, because if you allow your kids to quit sports or quit something because they don't like it, well, when they get older, you're teaching them, well, just quit. If you don't like it, quit. Don't do it if you don't like it. You know what I mean? And also, it hurts the team. So, when they have less players or you just quit. So, also that too. Another thing I wish I would have lessened up on. When my kids were sick, this is before, we're going back, Tyler's 30, so there wasn't like all this stuff that's going around now, like COVID and all that. They had to go to school unless they were throwing up or had diarrhea. I'd rather my kids go to school and then the nurse call and send them home than them not. And I wish sometimes I wasn't so hard that way, but I'm glad that I was, because now Lexi would have bronchitis or what have you, and she would go, like, my kids always go to work. They don't stay home because they have a headache or have the sniffles or just have a fever. Now it would be different because there's so many different things going around. And now also, like, now when you send your kid to school sick, everybody else gets sick. But remember, this was years ago, right? I didn't allow my kids to take their phones to school because back then you weren't allowed to. You'd get detentions or get in trouble. Now there's, oh my God, there's so many like school shootings and different things. If my kids were in school now, I would allow it. I know parents, like people I'm friends with, that their kids are in school and they're texting their mother. And it's like, why are you allowing this? Just to say, what are you doing? You're teaching your kid, like, no, you don't do that. I don't know. I noticed the different generation, like the parenting now. Like, kids come home crying from school. It's like, kids are kids too. I'm not saying bullying is okay. I am not saying that. But everything now is like so politically correct, or they want to change so many things because they don't want to hurt this feelings and hurt that. But then they're taking Christmas, the word Christ, out of things. It's happy holidays. Like, make it make sense. So many things are changing, but I can go on a whole new left field on that one. But like, I don't know. I just see how these kids parent, and it's like, if they were my kids, I would take them home. Okay? When my kids would act up, we went home. When I remember I had this friend, and every time I would see her come with her kids, I wouldn't answer my door. I'd act like I wasn't home or didn't hear it because I thought, oh my God, she never corrected her kid. I had to do it. I went on a whole rant, I guess, but that was a whole new thing. Like, I don't know. What happened to that fear of God anymore, or fear? Like, here's another thing why I was the way that I was with my kids too. Because my mom, when I got in trouble or suspended, like I would get suspended 10 days in school and different things like that. Well, I got the phone taken away. Now, we didn't have cell phones back then. We had beepers, or like the landlines where you had your own phone number. It was called a teenage line. I would get that taken away. Or if somebody called the house phone, they would say, oh, she's punished, she can't talk right now. But I was still allowed to go outside and play. And what my mom didn't know, because I thought I was smart, we had a Wawa down the street. This is when they still had payphones, and they left the phone number there. So you used a dime or whatever it was back then to call your friend and say, hey, call me right back on this number. And then we could talk for hours. Then the payphones got smart about it and would take the phone number off. But then you just call the operator and say, can you tell me the phone number to this phone? And then they would tell you. And then they got really slick where you couldn't do that anymore. But like, so it, like, I wasn't scared to get in trouble. I was scared of my mom. Like, I had respect for my mother. Like, I didn't backtalk my mom or get in her face or anything like that, right? I never snuck out of the house. I didn't do any of that stuff. But I wasn't scared to where it's like, I'm still going to do what I want to do. You know, I didn't have that fear. You know what I mean? And so I kind of took those things because I knew that's how I got in trouble and did that to my children. Like, I was very, very strict and very, you know, I had them involved in so many things. It's, you know, they had to volunteer at the SPCA. They had, you know, before we ate Thanksgiving, I took my kids to the church or, you know, or the soup kitchen because I wanted them to see what it was like helping people that didn't have. And then we would come back and cook. Same thing with Christmas Day. Before my kids were allowed to open up their gifts when my kids were little, we had to go to the homeless shelters or their soup kitchens, and they had to volunteer and help serve people breakfast. And then we came home and they opened up their gifts, you know. But I'm not upset that I did that, but just, I don't know. I just wish I wasn't so, you know. But I wish some of the parents now were kind of more stricter. Like, what is going on? I don't know. I just, like I said, that when the kids came over, it was like, I shouldn't be correcting your kids. I don't know. But let me know down below. Do you see the change or do you gentle parent? Let me know, because this new gentle parenting is new to me. I'm not saying beat your kids or anything like that. Because if you know that term, the fear of God, you don't have to beat your kids. Your kids won't, like, I didn't have to hit my kids. A few times, Isaiah had never had to hit. Only one time I told you about that, and I'll share the story really quickly. He was about 8 years old, and he used to go in his room when he would get mad and slam the door. So I was like, go in your room or whatever. I don't know what he did. And I said, don't you slam that door. And he slams the door. And then, this is what got me. He opens that door again, looks at me, and slams it again. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. I said, oh. So I go down to his room and he locks it. He wouldn't let me in. He was like, no, mommy, I'm sorry. And then I was getting more mad because he wouldn't open that door. So I said, okay. So I go get a screwdriver and he hears me opening. So then he unlocked the door and he ran to his bed by the headboard. And I was angry. And he takes the pillow and he puts it in front of him. And I seen, because I was getting ready to beat him. And I seen that fear in his face. Mommy, please, please. And that's what broke me out of my anger. And I'm glad, because you should never hit your kids when you're angry like that, right? When you're correcting them or something like that. And I walked away. So what I did for a punishment, I took the door off the hinges. And for a couple days, he didn't have a door. And then I would put it back on because him playing with his toys and all that noise, oh my gosh. But here's how I get my karma back, right? Because I couldn't put the damn door back on the hinges. I had to pay somebody $10 to put the damn door back on the hinges. The way these kids talk to these parents nowadays, like, or do things, or I hear parents like not wanting to discipline them. Like, you have to remember, your children are not your friends. They will always be beneath you. Now, when they get adults, yeah, you could be friendly with them, but they're not your friends. When you're still raising your kids, I've seen this happen, and they think that you're on the same level, then they treat you like they're your friends. And that's when they get older, they talk to you how they want to talk to you. They don't listen, because they don't have that respect as a parent, right? Because they think you're friends. Like now, my kids are older, so yeah, we're friendly, but like I ain't gonna go to a restaurant with Lexi and have a drink with her. I mean, I don't drink anyway, but you know what I mean. I ain't going to the clubs with my kids. I do things with my kids, but it's a mother and child, like a mother and a you know what I mean. We're not like friends gossiping together. Does that make sense? Like even now, and my oldest is just turned 30. He don't know anything about any YouTube drama I've ever had. I've never told my kids about any of that stuff. Like I said, I don't talk to my kids like we're friends. When my kids were growing up, they never, ever, ever knew when I was struggling. Ever. They didn't know. Because why would I stress my kids out? They're children. They need to worry about their good grades in school, and graduating high school. Really, that's really all that they need to worry about. My kids never knew. I told you, and I shared this many times, when Alexi was 11, we go to Walmart because, like, when I would get the kids' jeans and stuff like that, right, I'd go right to Walmart or where have you. They don't need name brand, like, jeans and stuff, right? And I'll never forget, Lexi, we go in there, and again, I shared this story a few times, and Lexi was like, what are we doing in here? I was like, well, we're getting some school clothes and stuff. And she says in front of everybody, I was so embarrassed. She goes, school clothes? She was like, this is for poor people. Mind you, I was living in the projects. And on food stamps at that time. I wasn't married or anything yet. And I said, excuse me? I was like, what do you think we are? She goes, well, we're middle class. I took Lexi right home and she did not get anything. And I said, let me tell you something. We're living in the projects and we're on food stamps. We're considered poverty. But the thing of it is that my kids didn't even know we were poor. We lived in the projects. She thought we were middle class because I never talked to my kids about finances and different things. They don't need to know that stuff. I don't know. I just think that's another issue that we're having, that a lot of parents nowadays, this new generation, are like friends with their kids. Like they're scared their kids are going to be mad at them. Listen, I said this and I will always say this. I'd rather my kids be mad at me or not speak to me anymore, as long as I know I kept them safe and I was doing my job as a parent. Other than that, I don't care. You be mad at me. You don't have to like me. I don't care. You know what I mean? But I'm going to do my job. And it's just, I don't know. I don't understand that. But let me know your thoughts on that. All right, I'm getting off of there. I want to show you a few things that I got that I have been loving. I got this on Amazon. This is called the Super Solid Squish. It's called a Nice Cube. Okay, you can get it in different colors, purple, blue, or pink. And I got mine in blue. And this is for people that have ADHD or anxiety or anything like that. And it's shaped as well, I just touched it. So it says Needoh, Needoh on here. And look, it goes like this. It's not slime. It's not sticky. It doesn't feel like slime. And I do this all the time because I'm a pacer. And I used to think that was anxiety. I've said that for years to you guys. Oh, I have anxiety. Come to find out, I don't have anxiety. No, it's part of my ADHD. And that's why I pace a lot, even when I'm on the phone or if I'm not on the phone. Sometimes I pace as I'm talking out loud to myself. Not like act like I'm another person having a conversation. It's just in general. And that is part of ADHD. I never knew that because my mom did the same thing. And she used to tell me growing up, she had anxiety. So that's what I thought it was. My mom probably didn't have anxiety. She had ADHD. Anyway, and then it's nice. And it also helps your hand grip too. But this is something really good. This was it was under $10, And then when you stop, it goes back into the square. So you don't have to worry about it not going back. The only thing is, like right now, there's a piece of hair and stuff. So that's why I always put it back in a box so that it doesn't get dusty or anything like that. But if you have a child that has to always have something in their hands or mess with something, or even as an adult like me, you know how they have all the fidget stuff and all that? This is something really nice to get. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Christmas time's coming, so that's something nice, even for yourself, And then also, this just came in. So, do you remember last year, my pipe broke in the kitchen? $2,000 later. Do you remember? Because it was so cold. Because, I've been having issues with the heat and the work and all that type of stuff. So, this just came in. So, I have not did anything with it yet. But this is the tape. It has heat. You can get single or dual. I got dual, the lights that keep it warm. And you plug it in. So, let me show you. Oh, look, it has a picture. So, you would see, you would wrap it around and you would plug it in for the heat to work. Now, I had to get the kind that you can use because the pipes in the kitchen downstairs are like plastic. Okay, so you have to make sure you get the right one. This is a 15-foot. They have different lengths, and I don't know, this may not be, but the pipe is like small. It's like the one that goes like this. It's under a sink, so it's not like a long pipe. And then you would plug it in. And I am so excited because the plumber guy told me last year, he was like, well, you could do one or two things. Because you know how, like, if it's really cold, you know, I live in Jersey, right? So it gets cold in the winter. You can, like, run the water to keep the tap running. And also have a space heater right there. Or get one of these. So I just got this. So this will be the first year using it. So let me know if you tried it and what you think of it or what. But I am very excited. I'm going to plug it in down here and see if it lights up just to see. That way, if you have an issue with your pipes or whatever, because you know this house was built in either 1900 or 1901. So this house is like 125 years old. You know, so it's older stuff, and you know they're not made the same. Now, also, I need to check the basement. I've never had anything burst in the basement, but each winter it's getting colder and colder, right? But the kitchen, twice it went. One was the main one, and then one, because what happens, it gets so cold it freezes because the kitchen was never insulated. So the floor is very cold. Like, you have to wear slippers. So when I ever redo that kitchen, I'm going to, like, get it insulated, but maybe have a heated floor. And then the vent in the kitchen isn't working. Whatever happened after the fire, we had the fire in 2018, it just doesn't work. And so it just stays very cold in there. And that's what happened. So, and then underneath the house, when they fixed the pipe, what happened was they showed me, they took pictures. Whoever fixed it the first time, which that's when my husband found somebody, I don't know who it was, but they put the insulation in backwards. And so, and then I need to get like a thing. Anyway, so it's just all this cold air hitting it. And anyway, so it busts and whatever. Okay, so this is plenty. This will probably be too long. All right, I'm going to plug this in. I have a little thing down here. Hold the phone. Okay, I guess it doesn't show lights here. I guess it'll just start heating up. What is this? What does this say? Yeah, because on the Amazon picture, I guess showed the lights so that you can see. You can either get one or two. Like I said, I got the two. Pre-installation to test at low temperature and coil the cable piece. The thermostat in ice water or between two ice packs for at least 20 minutes. Then plug in the cable. Both green and red lights should illuminate. Oh, it's supposed to come with tape. Oh, it does. So the thing, this just lit up green, but it said the red and green show. So I'll have to play around with this. But it's called a pipe heat cable. So that is, I'm so excited for this. And when it still gets really, really cold, like when it's in the 20s or what have you, I'll still like run the water, you know. All right, guys, that's everything. Don't forget to thumbs up the video or thumbs it down. Make sure you leave a comment. Commenting really helps with engagement, even if it's just an emoji. Hype the video. That really helps out. And guys, we are almost at 14K. We're like 10 subscribers, and we'll be at 14K. I mean, you guys have been really doing your thing with hyping those videos up because we gained like over 300 subscribers in the month of November, which is great for me. You know, that hasn't happened in over a year, you know, so thank you so much. And yeah, share my videos if you think anybody would enjoy my content. And check out my beauty channel if you're interested in that. All right, I'm getting off of here. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, stay healthy. And most importantly, always stay you. Never let somebody take you out of your character. Do as I say, not as I do. Bye, guys. I hope I didn't sound like I was like a perfect parent because not I said the fly. I definitely was not a perfect parent. Sometimes I question myself and I'm going to put this up because this is when I get in my own head and it's like, no, you're too judgy and don't put the video up. This is what happens when I say, oh, I just filmed a video and then don't put it up because I get in my head. But I'm posting it. Bye.